Welcome to the Mekong Delta, a region like no other, where water shapes the land, the culture, and the daily rhythms of life. Known affectionately as Vietnam's Rice Bowl, this lush and vibrant area in southwestern Vietnam is a patchwork of rivers, canals, emerald rice fields, and fruit-laden orchards. Here, the Mekong River completes its long, winding journey from the icy heights of the Tibetan Plateau, flowing gracefully through Cambodia, before finally fanning out into the intricate, fertile labyrinth of the Delta. Spanning 13 provinces, the Mekong Delta brings together a tapestry of landscapes. This region is not defined by mountains or sprawling deserts, but by the slow, meandering waters that carve their way through the land. Narrow creeks feed into broader channels, which eventually converge in great arms carrying silt and life-giving nutrients toward the sea. With flat terrain as far as the eye can see, the horizon is sometimes punctuated only by rows of palms, the golden silhouette of pagodas, or the busy hum of floating markets. Life here pulses to the rhythm of the water. Homes are raised on sturdy stilts above the tides, balancing above the gentle flow of the river like nests built for harmony with nature. Villages cluster along tributaries and canals, interconnected by wooden plank bridges or simple bamboo spans that sway underfoot. To those who call the Mekong Delta home, the river is much more than a backdrop. It is the backbone of daily life. Schools sit at water's edge, their classrooms often echoing with the laughter of children only steps from the riverbank. Markets gather atop gently rocking boats, and even buzzing motorcycle rides sometimes give way to leisurely boat journeys. One of the Delta's most enduring and colorful spectacles are its floating markets. Names like Cai Rong, Phong Dien, and Long Xuyen are famous well beyond Vietnam, conjuring images of boats laden with produce and the cheerful cry of vendors advertising their goods. In the gray light of dawn, these markets come alive. Hundreds of boats cluster together on the water, large wooden hulks bobbing gently next to slender sampans rowed by women in conical hats. At Cai Rang, the largest of them all, sellers and buyers meet not in stalls but in a vibrant flotilla. Towering poles at the prow display samples of the day's bounty: bunches of green bananas, piles of pineapples, heaps of yams, or cascading garlands of rambutan. What makes the floating markets so special is the sense of community they inspire. Unlike fixed storefronts, the vendors here live on their boats, their children curled up in hammocks or peeking shyly from the galley. On these floating homes, daily life continues within arm's reach of the bustle and commerce. Families hawk steaming bowls of Hu Tu noodle soup, serve robust Vietnamese coffee brewed right on board, and chat cheerfully with both regulars and new faces. The markets are more than a place to buy and sell. They are a social center and a living symbol of the Delta's resilience and ingenuity. The river governs the day here, and daily routines are built around its ebb and flow. Many families rise with the sun to cast their fishing nets or paddle sampans, a kind of hand-rowed boat, out across the placid waters. Children learn to balance on the gently rocking boards almost before they can run, and entire generations have grown up knowing every inlet and shortcut the waterways provide. River traffic is as busy as any city street, with boats ferrying everything from vegetables to livestock, and school children standing neatly in rows to board waterborne buses. Hospitality flows just as freely as the river, shaping the character of the Delta's people. Life here has a gentler pace, one marked by honesty, community, and a genuine friendliness that welcomes outsiders with open arms. Stop by a roadside tea house or visit a local orchard, and you'll find smiling hosts eager to share stories and meals. There is a warmth that permeates every interaction, a relaxed and unhurried vibe that invites all visitors to slow down and savor the richness of daily life. Beyond the markets, the land itself is a bounty. The Delta's rich soil and warm, humid climate have created an agricultural paradise, with fruit orchards stretching for miles in every direction. Here, groves drip with durian, whose pungent aroma delights devotees and scares off the uninitiated, while vines bear the juicy, pearl-like clusters of longan or lychee. Mangosteen, often called the Queen of Fruits for its sweet, tangy flavor, is picked by hand each year. Dragon fruit, with its neon pink skin, and coconut palms gently swaying above the water, round out the harvest. Rambutan trees, too, dangle their spiky red globes above the heads of children returning home from school. But it is the endless green of rice paddies that truly gives the Mekong Delta its nickname. For as far as the eye can see, especially in the early weeks of planting season, fields shimmer with the promise of rice. The crops are the lifeblood of the region, harvested not once, but sometimes 2 or even 3 times a year. Farmers work in teams, their feet sunk in cool, muddy water as they transplant young seedlings by hand. The fields transform with the seasons, from mirror-bright water in the rains to verdant green through the summer, and finally, to a sea of swaying gold as the rice ripens for harvest. It is through these tireless efforts that the Delta provides much of Vietnam's rice, feeding not just the region, but communities throughout the nation and beyond. Getting around the Mekong Delta means embracing traditional modes of transport. Sleek, wooden boats glide silently between villages, powered by long-tail engines that chug steadily over the open water, or by hand-rowed sampans that slip through narrow waterways shaded by coconut palms. These specialized boats are designed to handle the winding canals, shallow creeks, and the constant shifts in water level that define the region. For many families, their boat is as essential as a home or a bicycle, and the skills to row, steer, and maintain these vessels are passed from parent to child. Not every journey, however, is made by boat. In some villages, hand-built bamboo bridges arc over canals, dancing gently beneath foot traffic. These delicate structures are both practical and symbolic, joining communities and farmers to their fields and bridging the gap between tradition and the modern world. Spiritual life flourishes alongside daily enterprise. The Mekong Delta is home to a rich tapestry of beliefs, reflected in the ornate pagodas and temples scattered throughout the provinces. In Tra Vinh and Soc Trong, the Khmer community has preserved a distinct architectural style, with brilliant colors and elaborate roofs that soar skyward. Buddhist ceremonies mark the passing of the seasons, while shrines to river spirits and ancestors sit in most family homes, a quiet acknowledgement of the forces that shape life in the Delta. Even the smallest hamlet may boast a vibrant temple, its walls echoing with prayer and adorned with scenes of both myth and history. Fishing villages up and down the riverbanks are equally vital, with entire communities centered around the ebb and flow of aquatic life. The waters teem with catfish, snakehead fish, and shrimp, which are caught using time-honored methods. Conical nets spun into the current, bamboo traps submerged in shallow inlets, or simple lines cast from the back of a sampan. These catches are sold at local markets or preserved for later, forming the foundation of rich, flavorful cuisine unique to the Delta. Living beside or even directly above the canal is a way of life for many. Stilt houses rise above the waterline, their wooden beams weathered by time and tides. From these homes, families launch boats, hang out washing, or gather in the cool shade for meals together. Children splash in the shallows, delighting in a freedom that comes from being so closely entwined with nature. Life on the canal requires resourcefulness, from maintaining the bamboo walkways that connect homes to adjusting daily routines according to the water level and weather. All of this is set against the backdrop of dramatic seasonal change. The Mekong Delta's rainy season, stretching roughly from May to November, transforms the landscape. Rivers and canals swell, sometimes flooding fields and roads, and villages prepare for the rise in water with practiced serenity. Travel can slow to a crawl as sections of land become temporarily inaccessible, but this is also the time when the Delta's true fertility is revealed. The rains nourish every level of life, filling rice paddies, flushing silt across the plains, and coaxing new blooms from orchards and wild flowers. It is a period of both challenge and renewal, a reminder of how closely the fate of the land is tied to the moods of the river. As times change, ecotourism is bringing new opportunities to the region. Visitors now come not only to admire the scenery, but to participate in daily life, to stay in homestays, cycle along dikes shaded by coconut trees, or paddle through small farm canals, learning the secrets of traditional fishing. Tours often include chances to help plant rice, pick fruit, or visit bustling morning markets, supporting families directly and encouraging the preservation of local culture. Eco-conscious travel is helping to ensure that the delicate balance between human needs and the natural world is maintained for generations to come. At the heart of the Mekong Delta's enduring appeal is its remarkable cultural diversity. Over centuries, this watery crossroads has welcomed not only the ethnic Vietnamese, but also vibrant Khmer, Chinese, and Cham communities. Pagodas and temples reflect the spiritual beliefs of each group. Markets echo with the sounds of different languages, and festivals spill into the streets with music, dance, and traditional dress. One might wander from a market with Vietnamese pho stalls into a quarter renowned for Chinese herbal remedies, or join in the Khmer's exuberant Ok Om Bok festival, which celebrates the end of the rice harvest with dazzling boat races on shimmering canals. These traditions and the easy coexistence of different cultures have created a unique flavor to life in the Delta, a resilience honed by centuries of adaptation, and a generosity rooted in the shared experience of living so close to the rhythms and whims of the river. To journey into the Mekong Delta is to step into a world where water is both a challenge and a blessing, where the landscape and its people flow in harmony. Each day, boats slip noiselessly through the morning mist, fruit ripens under a golden sun, and the soft murmur of the river reminds all who live here of the deep, enduring ties between land, water, and community. This is a region that thrives on adaptation, on connection, and above all, on an enduring spirit of openness and warmth. The story of the Mekong Delta is, at its heart, the story of resilience and abundance. It is told in floating markets crowded with flowers and laughter, in the quiet rituals of fishermen before dawn, in the laughter of children learning to row their first boats, and in every meal shared beneath the thatched roofs of stilted homes. It is a landscape that invites all who visit to slow down, to listen, and to appreciate the many ways that life, shaped by water, can bloom. Century upon century, the river has shaped the land, the people, and the cultures that thrive along its banks. And as the Mekong flows ever onward, so too does the spirit of the Delta, rooted in tradition, strengthened by diversity, and always looking forward to what the next tide will bring. The Mekong Delta is a place where time slows down to the gentle pulse of the river. Here, water is life, shaping landscapes, livelihoods, and above all, flavors. Delving into the heart of the Mekong isn't simply about sightseeing, it's about tasting, smelling, and immersing yourself in an environment as rich in cultural history as it is in natural beauty. In this journey, we'll take a deeper look at the unique cuisine of the region, sip on its distinct local drinks, and uncover tips for making your trip truly immersive, transforming you from a visitor into a welcome traveler along the Mekong's winding waterways. As you glide along tranquil canals veined through lush emerald paddies, you'll notice that Mekong Delta cuisine is not just food, it's storytelling. The flavors echo the very character of the land, sweet from coconut, fresh from just-caught fish, and earthy from an abundance of local herbs. Meals arrive fragrant with dill, lemongrass, and the unmistakable aroma of ripe tropical fruit. Every bite is a passage into the lives of people who have made this watery world their home for generations. One dish that captures the spirit of the Delta is con chua, or sour fish soup, a beloved staple on family tables and in local eateries. This dish tells a story with every spoonful. The base is a light yet bold tamarind broth, its gentle tartness brightened with pineapple and tomato. Plump, river-fresh fish offer tender bite, while a tumble of crunchy bean sprouts and sometimes okra or taro stem adds texture and interest. Fragrant basil or sawtooth coriander are scattered on top before serving, along with the ever-present bird's eye chili for those who crave a little heat. It's not just a soup, it's a comforting ritual that gains more context with every riverside meal. Moving from spoon to hand, another iconic dish waits to be discovered, bánh xèo Mekong style. While versions exist throughout Vietnam, here in the Delta, these sizzling rice flour crepes are impressively large, their edges crisped to golden perfection in searing hot pans. The batter gets its yellow hue from turmeric and sometimes coconut milk, infusing a buttery aroma unique to this region. Generous fillings of shrimp, thin-sliced pork, and mung beans balance richness and freshness. Diners tear off pieces, wrap them in lettuce or fragrant herb leaves, and dip them into sweetened fish sauce. A harmonious balance of textures and tastes that lingers long after the meal ends. When the heat builds, nothing soothes like a bowl of hủ tiếu. This delicate yet deeply flavorful clear noodle soup is a Delta mainstay, with each province boasting its own twist. Hand-pulled rice noodles are the star, swimming in a broth layered with pork or seafood, shrimp, squid, or sometimes crab. Toppings can include sliced meat, a quail egg, crispy fried garlic, and ribbons of spring onion. Served with a platter of fresh greens like bean sprouts, sawtooth coriander, and lime wedges, every bowl bursts with brightness, tasting at once both light and deeply satisfying. River fish, ever present in Delta waters, provide the main ingredient for countless grilled dishes. Often, whole fish are marinated and wrapped in banana leaves before being set over coals, infusing the flesh with smoky sweetness and sealing in precious moisture. Once cooked, the fish is flaked off and rolled into delicate parcels with rice paper, alongside cucumber, herbs, and a spoonful of homemade dipping sauce, sweet, salty, spicy, tangy all at once. After sunrise boat rides or afternoon cycles, it's time to indulge in the region's famous coconut-based desserts. Nothing embodies the Delta's treat culture quite like chê choy, ripe banana bathed in silky coconut cream, sometimes with soft pearls of sago adding a chewy contrast. Coconut jelly, often set in delicate flower shapes, provides a cool, gentle finish to warm days. Sticky rice treats, layered with pandan custard or sprinkled with sesame and peanuts, are quick bites that speak of tradition passed down in home kitchens. Of course, culinary adventure doesn't end with food. The Mekong invites you to sip its spirits as well, some of which are not for the faint of heart. Snake wine, a potent rice spirit infused with coiled serpents and sometimes herbs, makes for a daring taste or a wild travel story. Less adventurous, but just as local, are herbal liqueurs and infusions made from river plants and roots, each with their own whispered promises of vitality and longevity. But to fully encounter the rhythm of the Mekong, you need more than just a fork and spoon. You need to immerse yourself in its ways. A classic boat tour is the introduction, lifting you gently into the daily life of the riverside. For the best experience, rise early with the sun, or wait until late afternoon. These cooler hours not only offer relief from the midday heat, but also reveal vibrant riverside markets at their most animated. Here, boats brimming with fruit and vegetables float side by side, women in conical hats weigh produce by hand, and the air fills with chatter, bargaining, and laughter. It's a living marketplace where generosity and resourcefulness shine. For those who want more than just a glimpse, homestays are the key to deeper connection. In provinces like Ben Tre, Vinh Long, or Can Tho, welcoming families open their homes to travelers, offering a bed, a home-cooked meal, and the opportunity to join in daily routines, from fishing and rice harvesting to pickling vegetables or making coconut candy. These experiences are a window into rural life, where warmth is measured by the number of stories shared over tea, not just guest reviews. To see the Delta at a gentler pace, embrace the slow travel tradition and cycle its calm backroads. Rent a sturdy bike and breeze along dike tops and narrow footpaths. Stop to taste juicy rambutan or longan straight from roadside stalls. Pause to watch farmers tend trellised vines, or children splashing in irrigation ditches. Each turn brings discovery. Orchards fragrant with mango and dragon fruit, villages echoing with the ring of bicycle bells, and smiles as warm as the sun filtered through palm fronds. For those with a love for craft and tradition, the Delta's villages open their arms in welcome. Spend a morning watching the practiced hands of coconut candy makers in Ben Tray as they stir sweet, sticky caramel over wood fires, then cut and wrap each piece in rice paper. Or visit a rice paper workshop where wide, steaming sheets are spread and dried on bamboo racks, a process unchanged for generations. Even humble bricks are cast in fiery kilns, shaped by skills passed from parent to child. Every demonstration is a living link in the chain of heritage. River cruises, too, offer a different vantage point. Ranging from private, wooden sampans for quiet sunset rides to multi-day journeys connecting Ho Chi Minh City to Cambodia, cruises blend relaxation with insight. Drift past stilt houses and floating villages. Gaze up at tangled mangrove forests and gleaming pagodas reflected in the water's sheen. On board, sample region-specific dishes and watch traditional music performances under a sky brushed by dusk. Timing your visit is key to enjoying every aspect the Delta has to offer. The dry season, from December to April, provides clear skies and easier travel, with breathtaking sunrises painting the mist-shrouded waterways golden. Yet the rainy season, from May to November, holds its own magic. Torrential showers swell the rivers to overflowing, orchards burst with seasonal fruit, and the entire region hums with verdant, lush energy. Choose according to your preferences, whether you're drawn to tranquil mornings or the wild beauty of rain-fed rice fields. Preparing for a journey in this region requires a bit of planning, but nothing daunting. Pack lightweight, breathable clothing to cope with humidity and sun, and be sure to bring a broad-brimmed hat or cap. Open sandals make for the most comfortable footwear, allowing you to wade onto boats or through a shallow puddle without worry. Mosquito repellent is a must, especially during evening outings near water, and a sturdy rain poncho is invaluable if you're traveling in the wet months. Traveling here is about more than seeing. It's about connecting. Even a simple chin chow, hello in Vietnamese, or a heartfelt come on, thank you, opens doors and hearts, showing respect for the communities you pass through. Accepting a cup of tea, always offered with a smile, signals friendship and breaks down barriers faster than any translation app. Embrace the slower pace, savoring the act of waiting, listening, and absorbing. On the Mekong, patience is rewarded by moment after moment of genuine hospitality. Immersive travel in the Mekong means choosing responsible, sustainable options whenever possible. Seek out family-run guest houses and restaurants, where your spending directly supports local livelihoods. Carry a reusable water bottle to cut down on single-use plastic and say no to unnecessary packaging in markets. Observe and respect nature. Whether you're boating through mangrove reserves, cycling through orchards, or visiting craft villages, tread lightly and leave nothing behind but gratitude. At the journey's end, it becomes clear. The Mekong is far more than just a river or a place on a map. It is an intricate network of life, tradition, and hospitality, shaped by water, but defined by people. Its memories will linger long after you leave. The sharp tang of tamarind on your tongue, the warmth of laughter shared over simple meals, the rhythm of boatmen plying their ancient trade at dawn. If travel is about transformation, then the Mekong Delta is one of those places where you return home different than when you arrived, more patient, more open, with a taste for both adventure and quiet wonder. Remember, to truly experience the Mekong is to surrender to its many charms. Let the tastes surprise you. Let the sounds lull you. Let your plans loosen like the river's own winding bends. In every bowl of soup, every flash of kingfisher wings, every shared meal beneath a sheltering roof, you'll find more than scenery. You'll find connection. And as the river flows on, endlessly, patiently, with all its life in tow, you'll carry its gentle lessons with you, wherever you may wander next.